Good day, viewers. I'm Fowotade Adekunle Akinola, a lecturer in the Department of Medical Laboratory Science, Kwara State University, Malete, in Kwara State. And the Department of Medical Laboratory Science offers Medical Laboratory Science program, a degree program approved by the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. It is a program that is designed to raise qualified medical laboratory scientists who will be involved in the day-to-day running of a clinical laboratory, both in Kwara State and the rest of the country, depending on wherever they find themselves after the mandatory NYSC service. I'm here to introduce one out of the courses that are being offered in the department, especially in the clinical areas, as from 300 level, when they will be expected to start their laboratory posting in the University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, Ilorin, Kwara State. And one of those courses is histopathology. And histopathology is a branch of medical laboratory science which deals with the study and the diagnosis of diseases associated with the cells. And the cells that we are talking about are the cells that we found in the specimen that are brought to the histopathology laboratory. And some of these specimens could be breast. And when you are talking about breast, we are talking about positive breasts that are positive for cancer cells. We call them malignant cells. We study about them and also inform clinicians on the mode of management. And we work hand in hand with our knowledgeable and scholar pathologists in the department. And not only that, we deal with study of diseases that are found in from specimen of the body. We also deal with the study of some diseases that are associated with women, especially when you talk about cytology specimen. And cytology specimen, most of them comes from our women. We talk of cytological samples, cervical screening that are done for women to rule out any onset of malignancy. And when you talk of cervical screening, we talk about the use of perpendicular staining technique, and that is being used to screen for cancer cells. And we also advise women to come for this screening as early as possible, at least twice in a year, so that we could detect early, if any, threat to life, as in the early onset of malignancy. Once we see any suspicious cells, we alert the clinicians, and they know the right kind of management they can give to such an individual, to such a patient. And that is why our courses are being patterned in order to embrace to cover all these areas. The 300 level, they are expected to do MLS 308, which introduces them to general histopathology. Here we teach them what are the type of fixative that we are using to preserve our specimen and to make sure that they don't spoil, or they don't autolyze. If anything is found to be autolyzed, they are not useful to us in the lab. We can't make any appreciable diagnosis of such a tissue. So that is why we make use of correct fixatives. Not only that, we also teach them how do we handle processing of this sample that comes to the lab. Be it a prostate sample, breast tissue, uterus, and different parts of the body that they are being brought to the lab for necessary diagnosis. Even at times we have amputated leg, the gangrenous legs that they bring to the lab in order to make an appropriate diagnosis as well. No matter the size, and no matter how, some are very small, some can be very big, but all of these are being handled in the lab. And our courses are being patterned to teach our students on how to handle all of these samples, whether it's big or small. Not only that, we also, at the 400 level, we take them to what is called histo technique. That is, it deals with some techniques, method of staining that we are using that helps in the diagnosis of diseases that are found in the body. Now, at 300 level, we teach them, we call the mitosis and Nelson staining technique, which is a primary staining technique. They help the pathologist to diagnose the diseases that are inherent in such specimen. And if you want to do further studies, we now do advanced staining techniques. That's why at 400 level, we teach them different advanced staining techniques, which can be up to 20 or 30. So, but for the sake of their exam, we narrow them down to like 4, so that they can have a better understanding. But at 500 level, they cover as many as up to 30 staining techniques, because at that point they are specializing in histopathology and they are expected to have a broader knowledge of the discipline where they are going to specialize in. So it's going to be an quite interesting program, and it is not laborious. Though the student and the lecturer will have to do their own part, every moment in histopathology is a moment that is well cherished. When you go into the aspect of cytopathology, which deals with the using the exfoliated cells to diagnose diseases, especially to rule out cancer cells in women, and then all of these deal with the phases in women. That is, we follow their menstrual period to know the hormone that is being secreted that leads to the production of certain cells. That's why we have different phases in women. But it's something that we cannot cover in the space of introducing this program to our lovely viewers that are interested in studying medical laboratory as a program in KWASU. We want you to come and experience a beautiful time with us. We have other lecturers that are well seasoned, and a trial will convince you, and coming to KWASU will never be in vain. At the end of the day, when you look back, you will love coming to KWASU, and you are going to thank God for beautiful lecturers, excellent lecturers, well trained and mannered lecturer that you are going to meet in the course of the program. We are expecting you, and we are going to welcome you into our department. Thank you, and God bless.